Hello, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Josh Neal. I'm the Faculty Director of the MS Accounting and MS Taxation programs here at the Leeds School of Business. Thanks for your interest in our programs, and I wanted to start off by saying if you have a question after watching this video, you should reach out to myself or Jerry, our programs coordinator. Specifically, if you have a question about potentially like course descriptions or the timeline of taking courses or professional relationships like recruiting, things of that nature, feel free to reach out to me. If you have a question more about the process of applying, the documents required, how to access things, anything of that administrative type of nature, you should start out by reaching out to Jerry. So my address is listed there, and Jerry's is as well. Mine is joshua.neal@colorado.edu, and Jerry's is layman@colorado.edu. You can also go through the request information tab, which is listed on the main website, but I wanted to jump in right away with our direct emails. Also, if you are a Leeds undergraduate student, well, then you're probably going to want to be a BAM student, which is part of the umbrella of these programs. It's under the umbrella of these programs, but it is slightly different. Here's what I would recommend for you. You need to watch all of this video until we get to the point that I will tell you you can jump off and watch the BAM video. But the first chunk of this video applies to anyone joining our programs from within or outside of Leeds. So let's go ahead and jump into the website. You've most likely found yourself here. And if you haven't, here's how you would find it. If you jump in and go to the main Leeds website, and I'll actually just click on it for you so you can see it. And you're here somewhere on the main Leeds website. If you go to graduate programs and then the accounting and taxation programs. Okay, so let's start off here because there's usually some confusion around this. These are actually different programs, different degrees. Now, there is a cross-section of courses that both students will take, but the master's in accounting is different from the master's in taxation. They are different degrees. So even though you'll share a classroom at times with each other, they are different degrees. So what I'm going to do is start off by talking a little bit about CPA eligibility, which obviously would apply to both sets of students. Then I'll start talking a little bit about the MS accounting, then the MS taxation, and then we'll wrap it up by talking about job placement, internships, tuition, CPA qualifications, anything that we might have missed there. And we'll try to wrap up the video in a timely manner. So let's start out here. CPA eligibility is obviously tends to be a concern or goal of our students. And so I want to say this right up front. If you actually review the CPA requirements, so the requirements to take the exam as well as get licensure, you're going to notice that they're different across the states, across the jurisdictions. So for example, the requirements to get a CPA license in Colorado are going to differ from the requirements to get one in California or New York. And so here's what I can tell you. You need to do some research in the state that you intend to work at and see what their requirements are. From there, I and some of my colleagues can help you figure out what you need to take with us to become CPA eligible. But there's no guarantee that just getting a master's degree is what you need to do. For example, I had one student this last year. She needed to get our master's degree and she found out she needed 6 more business hours. Well, we were able to arrange for her to take those at Leeds outside of the master's degree. So she did end up becoming CPA eligible, but she had to do a little bit more than just our master's degree. Or I had a different student who actually she had enough accounting hours, but she needed 1 more business class. And we were able to arrange for her to take that class in place of one of the accounting classes. So I can work with you to help you get CPA eligibility, but you need to do some research and not just assume that the master's degree will automatically get you there. However, let's talk about Colorado for a second. So if we just click on for the master's in accounting curriculum, you're going to notice that we do require you to take 2 audit courses, 1, 2, and we also require you to take this course, which is actually an ethics course. And so you're going to notice that that's also required on the MS taxation curriculum. You're going to see the 2 audit courses, as well as this is actually an ethics course down here. Well, the state of Colorado requires 2 audit courses and an ethics course. So we do require those courses as part of our program, but the state of Colorado and other states also require a myriad of other things, certain numbers of business hours, certain numbers of accounting hours. And so you'll want to check into all of those. But I just wanted to point out that we do have the offerings. You just have to make sure you take control of your future and take the proper offerings. But we do have them available. There is no course that is required that we don't have available to you. I'll put it that way. Okay, let's go back and take a look at the curriculum for accounting. So both programs, MS Accounting and MS Taxation, both programs are 10 course programs. Now, the accounting curriculum has 6 required courses, which means it has 4 elective courses. So you'll choose from this list, you'll choose 4. But if you look at the taxation curriculum, there are 9 required courses and only 1 elective. Okay, why does the taxation program have so many required courses? Well, it's actually our signature for this program. We require you to take 3 courses at the law school. Another way to put that is you get the privilege of taking 3 courses at the law school with law school students from law school professors. I have been told many times over the years from our taxation students that those 3 courses and also this 4th course, so these 4 courses here, made a massive jumpstart to students' careers, right? Put them leaps and bounds ahead of other starting out professionals that did not have access to those resources. So this is a signature of the tax program here at Leeds, but because there are 9 required courses and only 1 elective, there is a major difference in the flexibility of the 2 programs. So I'll put it this way. If you're an MS Accounting student and you get an MS Accounting degree, because when we look at that curriculum, you have quite a bit of flexibility, we do see students able to finish this program within a calendar year or even within 2 different semesters, so like fall and spring. On the taxation side, that is almost impossible. Most likely, if you're a taxation student, it's going to take you 3 semesters because of the timing of when the courses are offered. That being said, what we actually observe most students doing is taking 3 semesters for the accounting degree and 4 semesters for the taxation degree. Those are the most likely scenarios. And the reason for that is many of our students joining us from outside of Leeds have to start from the ground up recruiting. And so in order to squeeze in an internship, many students decide, they choose to take 3 semesters for accounting and 4 semesters for tax. That being said, if you feel like you've got your recruiting already underway and you don't have to delay your path for that, it is absolutely possible to do the MS Accounting in 2 semesters, and it's absolutely possible to do the MS Taxation in 3. Okay, so usually that delay is voluntary by students that are trying to make room for recruiting. Okay, so that's a little bit about the curriculums in each. You'll learn a lot more as you apply and get recruited from us, but that's a little bit about the differences. One other thing I'll point out, of this 6 required courses, all but this one are required for the taxation degree. So basically the main difference between the 2 programs is the accounting curriculum has 6 required courses. The taxation degree adopts 5 of those, but it drops that advanced financial. And then in place of that, it adds in 4 more. And so there's a net difference of 3 required courses. You can take a look at that on your own. It's obviously there on our website, but that's a high view of some of the coursework involved. As far as the faculty go, our faculty come from various backgrounds. So we have academics in the classroom that are, esteemed researchers in accounting research. We also have professionals. We have former partners from Big 4 firms. We have folks with experience on the private industry. We have people with tax backgrounds, law backgrounds. So kind of a myriad of professional backgrounds in the classroom with you. I can tell you with confidence that our faculty, as a rule, are some of the most highly regarded faculty at the school. Certainly, you start to compare across programs, our students are very, very receptive of our faculty, and we have a very, very great relationship across faculty and student here at this program. So you should be encouraged that you're going to be in good hands. We also have a very, very high placement rate. I haven't got the final numbers back, but I know it was in the mid 90% last year, and we'll be posting that to the website. Through avenues such as Beta Alpha Psi, as well as just relationships we have here in the Denver market, our students have awesome opportunities historically, both in accounting and in taxation. I want to go on now, if that's okay, and talk a little bit about scheduling. I often get students asking me whether they can work during these programs. And I'll put it this way. our course schedule is determined without any consideration of a work schedule, meaning we have classes at morning, noon, and night in our master's program. And depending on the fall or the spring, they may be more of one or the other. So we might have more morning classes in the fall than we happen to in the spring, or vice versa. It definitely means it's going to be hard to work full-time. Unless you're able to have a very flexible work schedule, it's going to be hard to work full-time. At a minimum, if you're going to work during our program, you will have to be flexible, because your fall schedule at classes may look very different than your spring class schedule. So just be aware that we do not allow for or plan on working professionals. We build our courses and our schedule under the assumption that you're going to be fully engaged here on campus. One other thing I want to talk about is the timeline of internships. If you're going to join us, we start students fall, spring, and summer. If you're going to join us in the fall, you're going to have to start recruiting immediately so that you can try to land something for the next spring or summer. If you join us in the spring, you may run into a situation where you really can't recruit heavily until the fall. And so it's definitely one of those things where the fall would be the normal start time. As far as like the traditional start time, it's possible to join us in the spring, but just the way I would put it is, you're going to have to be your own best advocate. All we can do is show you the avenues to recruit. So we certainly have strong relationships, Beta Alpha Psi being the main one. If you want to learn more about our Beta Alpha Psi chapter, you can go to bapbuffs.com. That's bapbuffs.com. You can learn more about our chapter at Beta Alpha Psi. It's one of the most dynamic chapters, honestly, in the country. We've been doing very well in recent years in terms of growing and offering opportunities for our students. Okay, the final thing I want to mention, and so right now actually would be the point that if you're going to be a BAM student, you can actually jump off this video, and what you would want to do at this point, BAM students, is click on this BAM information here. You'll also see a link. If you go back to the main page, BAM students, you'll see a link here, and there'll be another video there for you. However, if you're going to join us for the MS programs outside of Leeds, so you're coming from outside of Leeds, let's finish up this video talking about the application process as well as some of the tuition info. So if you're going to apply for one of these programs, the easiest way to do it, excuse me, is to click on the applications process. Once you click on that, you'll see some of our requirements by clicking here. Learn more about the MS accounting and taxation programs. So let's click that. Here's all the info you would need. I'm not going to read it to you, but I will say this. If you've not had these 4 classes, reach out to us and we'll help you figure out where you might be able to fulfill that requirement. But those 4 classes are required for the program. Also, you're going to see there's a GMAT waiver. We get asked a lot about GMAT waivers. We are currently accepting petitions, so there's no guarantee, but you can petition for a waiver based on these 2 situations. So feel free, if you need to file a petition with us. There's an explanation down below on how to do that. However, be aware that just because you petition doesn't mean it will be granted. Okay, so feel free to petition, but we will get back to you on whether we're going to waive it or not for you. There's also TOEFL requirements down here, resumes, application fees, everything is right there. Here are your deadlines. And if you have any questions, you can send an email right here, or you could email myself or Jerry, particularly Jerry if it's an application question. And that information was given to you earlier in the video, but here's also an information email that you can use. Okay, let's talk about tuition costs. You can see that these rate sheets are posted on CU's Bursar's website, and there's a link there. However, I also, just to show you, got a Google search here opened. You can just type in CU Boulder tuition rate sheets and click on that. And it's going to pop up right here with tuition and rate sheets. Now, our program is called a professional MS. And so you start looking at all these sheets, and there's several sheets. Well, obviously, we're a graduate program, but specifically, we're a professional graduate program. So you've got to click that one. If you're in-state, you would click there. If you're out of state, you would click there. I'm going to click in-state just because it's the top one. And what I want to show you is that unlike undergraduate tuition that you may have faced at your other institution, graduate tuition here at CU Boulder is based on credit hours, like per credit hour charges. So notice that 1 credit hour, currently, we are a professional MS in business. That's where we fall, professional MS in business. 1 credit hour for this academic year would be $1,053 for an in-state student. Notice that 2 credit hours is exactly double that, and 3 credit hours is exactly triple that. Well, it's a 30-hour program, so you can figure out really quickly that at that tuition rate, 30 times 1,053 would be the tuition costs. Now, there's also going to be, and it gets explained down below, there will be fees as well, but that's how you find the tuition information. If you're out of state or international, you would obviously want to click on that sheet, and you're going to see that it functions the same, but it will be at a higher rate. Okay, the final thing I want to talk about in the video is scholarships, because I'm sure you're wondering whether we do scholarships or not. Yes, we do. We do rounds of scholarships basically every late spring and every fall. So for students that are continuing or joining the program year round, we do generally try to award some scholarships from the program. You can reach out with more questions about that, but I will tell you that generally speaking, just to give you a ballpark idea, generally speaking, those scholarships fall somewhere in the $2,000 to $5,000 or $6,000 total range, just so you have an idea and a ballpark around that. But reach out if you have any questions around that. That concludes all of the primary information I wanted to communicate through this video. I hope it helps you navigate the website, understand a little bit about tuition, a little bit about our job placement, the course offerings, things of that nature. Please feel free to reach out to us if you have any further questions. We'd love to hear from you. I hope you're staying safe and have a great day.